Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Cole Hauser reveals the Yellowstone role he was originally meant to play before changing Rip's character. Yellowstone star Cole Hauser, who played the fan-favorite cowboy Rip Wheeler in all 5 seasons of the hit Paramount Network show, revealed he was initially approached for a different character in the series. Following Yellowstone's ending in 2024, fans of the Taylor Sheridan-created Western franchise await future spin-offs. 1923 concluded a historic chapter in the Dutton family saga, while The Madison is among the new spin-offs set to premiere in 2026. Another sequel series focused on Rip Wheeler and Beth Dutton is also in the works. Speaking with Thayer, Cole Hauser spoke about his time on Yellowstone, explaining that the show was originally brought to him by co-creator John Linson, Sons of Anarchy, Yellowstone. At the time, Linson and Sheridan were considering Hauser to play one of John Dutton's sons, which would have meant Case, Jamie, or Lee Dutton. Hauser mentioned that he read the pilot and became fascinated with Rip Wheeler, then spoke to Taylor Sheridan, and the pair expanded on the character to give him a more prominent role. Read his full quote below. Be it Case, Jamie, or Rip, Yellowstone's characters are thoroughly ingrained in the minds of audiences after dozens of episodes. It's hard to imagine Cole Hauser as any other character, but it seems possible that they were eyeing him to play Case. He could have fit well as Lee Dutton, but Lee had a notably limited role, dying at the end of the pilot. Cole Hauser is one of the most recognizable actors in the series, and it seems doubtful they would have brought him on just for the opening 2 episodes. That's most speculation, though, as, according to his comments, his involvement resulted in subsequent changes to the characters. One of Taylor Sheridan's greatest assets is that he knows how to write for his actors, playing to their strengths and bringing out the best in them. If Cole Hauser played Case, or Lee for that matter, Yellowstone could have ended up becoming a very different series, possibly not even succeeding to the degree it did. Say what you will about Taylor Sheridan's shows, but the guy undoubtedly knows how to write a compelling and unforgettable character. Be it the series lead or the 15th most important character, Yellowstone is packed with memorable figures. Rip Wheeler is arguably the show's best. He became a fan favorite over time, not only due to Hauser's career-defining performance, but also because of the immaculate dialogue he's given throughout the show. It would be impossible to imagine Cole Hauser playing any other Yellowstone character. When fans think of Yellowstone, it's hard not to immediately picture Rip Wheeler, the steely-eyed ranch foreman with a fierce loyalty to the Dutton family and a heart that beats only for Beth. With his signature black hat, silent intensity, and brute force that masks a deeply wounded soul, Rip has become one of the most compelling characters on television. And it's nearly impossible to imagine anyone but Cole Hauser in the role. But, as Hauser recently revealed, he was never originally supposed to play Rip at all. In a recent interview that surprised fans and industry insiders alike, Hauser opened up about his early conversations with Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan. The two men, friends for years before the series began filming, had a natural shorthand. Taylor sent me the script, Hauser recalled. He had this big vision for the show, the land, the legacy, the family dynamics. He wanted me involved, but originally, Rip wasn't the role he had in mind for me. Instead, Sheridan had pegged Hauser for a very different part. John Dutton's adopted son, Case Dutton, the former Navy SEAL torn between 2 worlds, trying to balance his indigenous roots, his loyalty to his wife, Monica, and his complicated relationship with his father. Case was written with a lot of emotional depth, which I liked, Hauser said. But when I read the script, I kept getting drawn to Rip. There was something about him, the quiet, the pain, the code he lives by. I felt like I understood him. At the time, Case was already shaping up to be a central figure in the series, the son who might one day inherit the ranch, the bridge between the Dutton Empire and the neighboring Broken Rock Reservation. It was a juicy role, and one that eventually went to Luke Grimes, whose understated strength and emotional resonance have made Case a fan favorite. But Hauser saw something in Rip that made him push for a change. He took a risk and called Sheridan directly. "I told Taylor, I get Rip. Let me show you what I can do with him." Sheridan agreed, reluctantly at first, but allowed Hauser to audition for Rip. What happened next was something both men call creative lightning. Hauser brought layers to Rip that hadn't been on the page. The physicality, the simmering rage, the unwavering loyalty. It was all there. But he added a sense of vulnerability that turned the character from a one-dimensional enforcer into a tragic romantic hero. Rip was a ghost when the show started, Hauser explained. He had this brutal past. Orphaned, taken in by John Dutton, never really felt like he belonged. He's lived his whole life trying to repay that debt. But he's also someone who's terrified of being loved, and even more terrified of losing that love. That love, of course, is Beth Dutton. The twisted, passionate, utterly combustible relationship between Rip and Beth, played with ferocious brilliance by Kelly Reilly, became the emotional heart of Yellowstone. Their chemistry was electric from the beginning, raw, wounded, and endlessly fascinating. "Kelly and I found something really honest in those scenes," Hauser said. "It wasn't traditional. They're not a fairy tale couple, but they are soulmates, damaged, defiant soulmates." Over the years, Rip has become more than just John Dutton's muscle. He's the quiet architect of the ranch's power structure, the protector of the family's secrets, and the moral compass in a world where morality is murky. He'll kill without blinking, but only if he thinks it's justified. He's feared by everyone, but defined by loyalty. Hauser's transformation into Rip has also been physical. The actor famously gained 20 pounds of muscle to embody the character, changed his voice to a grittier tone, and even adopted a slower gait to match Rip's deliberate nature. He's not a guy who rushes. Every movement Rip makes is with purpose. "That was a big shift from the way I normally carry myself," Hauser admitted. Now, several seasons into Yellowstone's run, with spin-offs and prequels exploding in popularity, Hauser's portrayal of Rip has become one of the series' most iconic elements. Fans wear Rip's hat, quote his lines, and pack fan conventions just to catch a glimpse of the man behind the character. Still, Hauser remains humble. "I just wanted to play a guy who feels real," he said. "We all have scars. We all carry weight. Rip carries his on the outside and the inside. That's what makes him human." As for his initial turn toward Case, Hauser has nothing but praise for Luke Grimes. "Luke brought something to Case that I couldn't have. That role was his to play, and he's done it beautifully. I think we all landed where we were supposed to." Sheridan agrees. In a rare comment about the casting switch, he said, "Cole saw something in Rip that I didn't fully see until he inhabited him." That's the magic of collaboration, when an actor sees a path you didn't and takes it further than you imagined. With Yellowstone approaching its final season, fans are bracing for a dramatic end to the Dutton saga. Whether Rip survives or goes down in a blaze of gunfire, one thing is certain. Cole Hauser's decision to pivot from Case to Rip changed the trajectory of the show forever. "It was one of those crossroads moments," Hauser said. "You get a script, you read a character, and something just clicks. You don't question it. You just know." And thank goodness he knew, because television has never seen a cowboy quite like Rip Wheeler.